Hey Matt, how's it going? How you doing today?
Aaron, nice. Very, very good. Good
All
to
right,
be
well,
here as well.
we're lucky to have you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy Friday to join us. Before we hop right into it, Matt, why don't you give us a brief overview of what Optimus Futures does and what you guys are up to?
Optimus Futures has one goal. The goal is to service self-directed futures traders. So we provide the software and everything else for those who are interested in trading the asset class of futures. We connect to we have our own platform, but we also connect to multiple other platforms, popular ones, for example, such as TradingView and so forth, for people who want to trade it.
Got it. And we have viewers, Matt, that trade all different types of equities and assets. I mean, how do futures differ from other traded assets?
So before I get into that, I just want to have a legal disclaimer because I'm a licensed broker. There's a substantial risk of loss in futures trading, and past performance is not indicative of future results. The futures market is a leverage market. This is where people who usually trade stocks and options find their way into the futures market when they want to increase the leverage. One of the advantages that the futures market presents is that you do not have to have $25,000 in order to day trade, for example, the stock indices, something that I believe is, in my opinion, required in the stock market. So people who want to go long and short on broad indices such as the mini S&P, NASDAQ, and so forth, that's how they eventually find their way to futures. So the futures market is a leverage market. That's where it differs from stocks, for example. It's also a 24-hour market. You're trading global markets. So you're not trading one individual, for example, equity, but you're trading a broad index. And this broad index obviously is trading almost 24 hours around the clock. There's 1 hour break, but for the most part, you can trade it during the day. It is more liquid during the day than the nighttime. However, you can trade this asset class around the clock, and it includes indices and metals and energies and things of that nature.
Got it. I mean, I know you mentioned a few right there, with the futures being leveraged and the trading hours being longer, but are there any other advantages to futures over, stocks and stock options, which a lot of our audience is interested in?
Yeah, so basically, the margin that is required, for example, if you want to short an asset class, you do not have interest payments. The whole business of futures is based on good faith margin that you place out of your account. And essentially, when you close the position, it's given back to you. So I would say that one of the major advantages, again, it's not you're not required to have the $25,000, the ability to short without having to pay high interest rates and so forth that typical equity brokerages charge you. So whether you trade long or short, it's the same margin that allows you to operate.
And then are futures a day trading tool?
Well, you know, if you asked me this question, for example, a few years ago, right, I would say that you can use it both as swing trading, hold it for a few days, and if you have the capital, and day trading. You know, past the COVID era that brought volatility that we've probably never seen before. I would tell you that today's global market can have such devastating effects that I would advise today our customers to focus on day trading, which means they have to close their positions by 5 o'clock. Now, a lot of people in the futures market also seek, extra leverage above and beyond what futures provide. They want low day trading margins. Um, some customers have higher appetite for risk, and those customers I would advise to really focus on day trading. I think because the asset class is so highly leveraged and it has such high risk, for me, it's really, really hard it's very hard for the average investor to develop a long-term view and hold that position. So you can do it in equities, for example. You like a company, you like the fundamentals, you like the management. Typically, from what I know, if you don't use any leverage in equities, you cannot lose more than your initial capital. That's not the case with futures. On futures, if you're highly leveraged, you can lose more than your initial investment because of the leverage that's given to you. So I would advise customers to, with this asset class, to focus on day trading and close their positions before nighttime. There is 1 hour close for the CME between 5 and 6 o'clock Eastern. A lot of things can happen at the time. Also, you cannot manage risk when you sleep. So you can take a long-term position, but during nighttime, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, your time, some sort of a major event can happen, and that could definitely affect your position. So I would say in futures trading, only the time that you actually can be, for a lack of a better term, glued to your monitor, that's the time to trade the futures. The time that you can be in front of the monitor. If you allow yourself 3 hours in front of the monitors, focus on that. If you want to be during equity hours, 9 to 5 o'clock, then do that. That could be your day trading. So day trading, and I want to emphasize something. Day trading doesn't mean that you have to take a lot of positions and trade in and out all the time. You can simply call a day trading session. A day trading session starts typically at 6 p.m. The day of, and it continues to 5 o'clock the next day. So during that time, as long as you're available, that's when you trade.
Got it. I mean, with all that said, Matt, I mean, what type of traders or investors, do you think should be interested in futures trading and pursue this as one of their ways that they're involved in the markets?
So clearly, to trade futures, you as an I would say, as far as your risk tolerance, you gotta have a high risk tolerance. This is not for everyone. At Optimus Futures, we always tell our customers, if you have very low risk tolerance and fluctuations in your equity, if they cause you some sort of nervousness or things of that nature, you really shouldn't touch it. However, if you have the risk tolerance, you have experience in trading, you understand the volatility in the futures market, that would be one that I would say that's the first criteria to join the futures market. The second thing is, if you find that your asset class doesn't give you all the flexibilities, to trade in the direction that you want. For example, you find that you want to go long and short the indices. Though this is where you should look to diversify into the futures market. Also, I want to mention that you can use the CME has created a product called micros, and this is 1/10 of the regular contract. So you can trade the indices, the micro indices. Very popular ones are the mini S&P, the micro S&P, micro Nasdaq, micro crude, micro gold. All those contracts could be traded for the smaller investor. So again, you got to have high risk tolerance and also the need to diversify into other assets that traditional markets don't give you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I'm not really that familiar with futures trading. I haven't dabbled in myself, Matt. But if I were to start, I mean, does it matter where you go, or are all platforms pretty much the same? I mean, how much of a role does which platform you're on matter when you're trading futures?
So, in my opinion, definitely as far as the asset class, you should start with micros, right?
Okay.
You can trade the minimum number of contracts. So, you can clearly start with one contract with something that you're familiar with. For example, if you trade equities and you follow the S&P, you see you could be familiar with the S&P. So first of all, choose the right market. Understand that market, research that market, look back what it did in the past. And again, past performance not indicative of future results, but you should look nevertheless at the history of the asset class and see what kind of volatility, and see, could I trade and could I take advantage of that. Now, as far as the platform does make a difference. There's no platform that will make you a disciplined trader. There's no platform that could instill psychology into the customer's mind. However, the futures market is a very fast market. So it is important to find a platform that you can navigate really fast, meaning that you can buy and sell really fast. And it's easy to use, exactly your positions, exactly the equity, and the trade, for example, through the charts, should find a platform that trades through the charts. Those who trade through the depth of market, the DOM, which is very popular in futures as well, should find a platform that has a good DOM to execute on. So for me, when somebody is looking at a platform, the most important thing they should look at is their source of reference, which many times is the charts, but also the execution. How is the execution occur, and become familiar with the interface? we have our own platform. It's called Optimus Flow. This is where it's very modern, easy to execute on, easy to navigate on, in my opinion, at least. And I'm a little bit biased because, we're working with programmers on the development of the software. And as time progresses and people come in and they give us feedback, we also improve. So, the best way to develop a software is to listen to your community. I need this, I need this, I need that. For example, we had one customer that said, look, I want a feature that, for example, after 30 seconds, I'm out. Like, I want to specify the time, not a price target, but time. So we developed it into the software. So those kind of things where you listen to your traders, you develop software according to that. So in that regard, it does matter. You want to find a platform that you can easily navigate on, because the last thing you want to do in a fast futures market is start to figure out, where's my position, where do I exit,
Right.
or how much did I make, or how much did I lose. So those kind of things will play a role.
So, Matt, what would you tell someone like me who might be interested in going out there and getting involved in the futures trading? Like, what piece of advice would you give me, and what did you wish that you knew when you first started trading futures?
One of the first things that I tell people is to really become familiar with, and this is basically in trading in general, become familiar with the biases that we have as human beings. Read about the biases, like the recency bias, the confirmation bias, all those things. So what could potentially affect you psychologically as a trader. That's the first thing I would do before even trading anything. Become familiar with that. The next thing is, in regards to futures, I would become familiar with the mechanics of the futures. When do they open? When do they close? What's every point value on every contract? And then develop a method. This is, again, in general, advice. However, I think in futures it's very relevant. In the equities market, you have some room for error because it's cash. So let's say you buy a stock at 200 or 202. In the futures market, you gotta have precise rules. The last thing you want to do in the futures market is rely on your gut feeling. Do not. This is one way to fail. I don't know all the ways to succeed, but I know one way to fail is to rely on your gut. In the futures market, have a method. Whatever it is, have a method to enter, have a method to exit. Stick by those rules. Improve those rules over time. Observe them. Also, this is something we do. We developed our own trading journal for people to track their performance. So the one thing I would tell every futures trader, track your performance. Also write notes beside every trade. At the end, you will see what led to good decisions and bad decisions. You will see what time is good to trade, what time is not good to trade, how many contracts. The last thing I would say also in that regard, size. You must trade size that fits your risk tolerance. You cannot go from trading one micro contract to 20 mini contracts. You have to see how psychologically it affects you as you grow your number of contracts. And if you have to stay at a certain size, stay at a certain size. We can have debates back and forth about what's important, but in my opinion, size really matters.
Size matters. Heard it here first from Matt Zimberg. Again, the CEO of Optimus Futures. We'll drop that link in the chat. Before I let you go, Matt, you got any, I guess, like hot market takes for us or outlook for the next few months? Are you currently bullish, bearish, or do you not really care about that stuff? You're just day trading in and out.
The truth is, I'm not a good market research or
Okay.
analyst. I truly focus on the development of whatever our traders need. I wish I could give you advice to traders. I really don't know. Of course, I have my own portfolio and I have my
Right.
own opinions that develop, but really, for the most part, that's not my expertise. I just want to say, I know we have a very short time period here. My main goal all the time is listening to our traders. That's the most important thing. We develop everything by listening to our community, and this is our way forward. Listening to them, developing things that they need to accommodate them. I have a lot of respect for traders. At the end of the day, every brokerage should remember that their earning comes from their customers taking risks. And as my gratitude and thank you for the existence of our company, we put a lot of our resources right back into the company. And it was really
That's
awesome being here. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I'm glad. I mean, I'd like you because you're running the brokerage, being not too distracted by the market moves or reading research and all this because you're just worried about what your traders need. So that I see that as a very strong suit for your company. So Matt, thank you again for hopping on with us on Benzinga's
Thank
All
you.
Access. Again, Matt Zimberg, the CEO of Optimus Futures. That link is in the chat if you guys want to go check it out. Matt, enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye bye.